Hey, y'all. Not really feeling like being on camera tonight, but I wanted to record something, so here it is. Where to even start? Well, I think we'll start with the weather tonight. Obviously, well, I shouldn't say obviously. If a lot of you don't know, there is an atmospheric river. Oh, I know. Clutch the pearls of the conservatives. I can see it already. It's just a bunch of rain. Well, here's the deal. This atmospheric river carrying this ass load of rain is going to make a lot of our rivers flood, and it's going to impact a lot of people and could potentially displace people right through the holidays. And I feel as if oftentimes when people make stupid snide comments like that, I guess number one, anymore on the internet, you can't even tell if it's a bot. I mean, if X tells us anything, what was revealed is that probably most of the assholes that we see all the time on social media are bots, or either that, or there's just a whole lot of this population that is apathetic, cruel, and unintelligent. Um, because how do you not look around to what has happened to our environment, especially in the Pacific Northwest, and realize that we never had storms that were quite like this. There's a difference between a lot of rain and a lot of our major tributaries flooding. I mean, the Skagit, the Skykomish, the Snohomish, the Snoqualmie, the Puyallup. I think part of the White River going down, maybe Green River also, I think, and then one other river. I think the Carbon River all had major flood predictions tonight, and I it makes me so angry how society has become so apathetic and so reductive of everything in order to not have to face our problems, to have to admit, oh, maybe I was wrong about that. Maybe, and here's the deal. Do I think there's 100%? I think there's human caused climate change. Do I think we can do anything about it now? No, I fucking don't. It is, we have tipped over the edge, like we have with a lot of things, like with our democracy, like with women's rights, with the polluted environment, with how uneducated the United States is in comparison to so many people in the world, because we haven't put a priority on people. We haven't put a priority on smart people. We have let theocrats over the years come in and take over and turn everything into a fucking culture war. Case in point, I didn't think I'd go down this road, and I don't want to argue, nor do I honestly care about Brandi Kruse. But I saw this thing about this article that she cited on her Facebook page. Let me see here. It's something about this apparently this non-binary teacher that of course identifies as they them in a Tumwater school. And this person, apparently, from what I'm reading from this woman, Alicia Perkins, her Substack article, no news article that I could find, but Alicia Perkins Substack article, that basically this teacher said, hey, this child that you're going to put in my class, like next year or something, I'm requesting they don't be put in my class because their dad and these people involved in this child's life is they are not aligned with equal in human rights, because they're of course part of the no trans folks in girls sports, basically. And that's a huge, obviously long conversation. And people were really upset about that, and I'm thinking, they just saved everybody going down this path, because in some ways I could feel as if they could see that as a setup, knowing that the child of this family, this school director was going to be put in their class. It could be used as an opportunity to maybe make something up that didn't really happen. I mean, we know that happens all the time, right? I mean, look at all the people that don't believe, victims all across the board, or people's stories all across the board all the time. It's currently being played out in this administration, the Epstein files, right? So anyhow, side tangent. But so I could see where this teacher was just maybe being proactive and going, it's probably not the best idea to put this student in my class, seeing as how there is this contention in this history here. But nope, it is, that's not what this is. And here's the thing that's so sad and appalling about, I don't know if it's us in America, I think it's just human behavior in general. We get so stuck in our status quo every single day rules that we don't ever take a step back to look at humans as a spectrum. And we are people, whether or not you want to believe it, it doesn't make any difference. The reality is the reality. Humans are a spectrum. We make these rules. We have made these rules. These rules did not come out of thin air. Rules for sports and who and how gets to participate for things over time have changed. Look at Augusta, right? Wasn't it Condoleezza Rice that can golf there now? The point is that things can just be freaking changed. We don't have to be stuck in this rut of, nope, this is this and that is that, and it's binary. I can imagine that there are many things within the sports world that could be changed to a more metrics based system to make it so everybody could compete. Why can't we change it? That's the questions that we should be asking instead of keeping people out. It's how do we find a way to bring everybody in? And I know, sorry, I take a drink here for a second. I know that seems scary because you don't want to understand it, or you do understand it, but you don't want to admit it because our whole lives we've been trained to only think one way, that this is what marriage is and this is what makes you happy. And this is, if you do all these things, then you should have a good life, which by the way is also branded as the success sequence for the Christian nationalists in life platforms like Lifeway's Christian Academy. Haha. You didn't think I wouldn't talk about that, did you? But that is just that norm that we've been brought up with. I mean, I was actually watching some gal who was deconstructing from Religion Today talk about just how much religion is ingrained in all of us in our everyday thinking, even when we say that we're no longer believers, and we truly are no longer believers. But the everyday exposure that we were steeped in our culture to the binary structure is indelible in many of our minds. You can't get rid of that kind of natural reaction. But the thing is that if you have a mind that can be changed, it means you're a flexible person and you can come to an understanding that what we were raised with wasn't real when it comes to human beings. And that's what we're talking about here. We're trying to find a way for that person who now identifies as a gender different from their birth because of however they feel on the inside. And let me tell you something. Does it look like these people are having a good time when they decide to come out with this and make these decisions? Nope, they're not. Because they're ridiculed by folks that are in Brandi Kruse's audience and Alicia Perkins' audience and the rest of these people, the Dory Monsons and the whoever's. Like, we have so many bigger fish to fry, people, and you get your folks all riled up about these culture issues, about things that shouldn't even be issues. We have the ability to change. We have the ability to change these human-made rules. All this is a distraction. I'm just trying to figure out, how do things like this help anybody? Like, literally look around. There is need all over in your communities. If you want people to be undivided, then we need to bring people together to be building community, not tearing it apart with this fucking culture war shit that wouldn't even be a problem if the people in the religious right would learn how to mind their own goddamn business about other people's fucking lives. That's the truth. I've lived in Washington my whole life, and it fucking pisses me off when I hear people talk shit about it, because guess what? Every place has its problems. You clearly don't talk to people in other states where their people aren't taken care of, literally, like, at all. They don't even have proper on-site septic systems, for Christ's sakes. So I don't want to fucking hear it about Washington State. It does make me mad. And the reason that we keep it as beautiful as we can here is because we do pay taxes. You go to places where they don't pay taxes, and guess what? Nothing's taken care of because people, you're mad at the government. Well, you should hold a fucking mirror up to your face, because we are the government. We, for the people, by the people, we the people. That means all of us. It's our money that funds all of this. The roads you drive on, the power lines I'm looking at swaying outside. And when they go down, you know who's going to show up? The fucking PUD, paid for by our tax dollars. This shit is fucking ours. Ours. It's not just yours, and it's not just mine. It is ours. We pay for it. We should be getting more benefit than we do, but we don't. Because the socialism that we all pay for goes to rich people. by way of tax loopholes, tax breaks, churches not paying taxes because churches, like, I'm sorry, people, at some point in time, we got to address that shit. How come we don't talk more about that? You want to talk about this teacher that identifies as non-binary, but boy, you sure as shit don't want to talk about the Seattle Archdiocese and this fucking crap that went on with, the Catholic Church getting the DOJ involved to push back against a law making the special man in the special box with the special hat and robe on not a mandated reporter when it comes to child abuse. And you you want me to believe you give a fuck about kids? Little conservative mouthpieces in the state, you don't care about kids. You're just towing the line for the fucking outrage. You don't want anything to get better, or else you wouldn't try to divide people so much. Again, you guys get all riled up about shit like abortion and trans kids just wanting to play sports and feel included in this world. But boy, you don't get upset about repeated century old, known to everybody in this world that's willing to listen and has fucking eyes, that the religious institutions are nothing but rapists of society. And nobody wants to talk about it because everybody's little feels get so hurt. But Jesus Christ, they've made how many movies about the Catholic Church? Spotlight, Academy Award winning, fucking awesome, one of my favorite. The Boys of St. Vincent from Canada. Oh, give that one a watch. It's fucking horrific. And then, of course, you look at the thousands of names that were rolled through at the end of the movie Spotlight of all the places of reported abuse. But nope, let's not talk about that. Just like let's not talk about the Epstein files. It's almost as if the conservatives don't want to talk about anything that has to do with reality. And they want to talk about things that affect literally nobody. Because tell me, Brandi and Alicia and all of these other people that are angry, how does a trans kid playing sports affect your life? And if you were truly a caring person, why don't you want that kid to play sports? Are we not advanced enough as a society to make sure that everybody could play sports in a high school level, a college level, hell, anywhere? Like, really? We're just that far gone, huh? We just can't figure that out. Boy, I don't know. It doesn't say much about us as a freaking species now, does it? I sit here every single day just gobsmacked at how humans are so easily divided. I mean, I get it. This is something. Oh, I think I just lost my internet. No, maybe it just came back. I mean, I get it. When scarcity happens, by means of housing and healthcare and jobs and clean food. Like, I don't know if have been paying attention lately about what people have been finding in their food, but when you don't have departments that specialize in making sure that we stay healthy anymore, or even care that we are healthy, society's falling apart. And it's falling apart because the richest among us, which is just a handful, has managed to destroy what had made us a great country. Was the fact that we didn't rely on judges that just studied law to adjudicate matters of pollution. We relied on experts who studied what the effects of pollution and what pollution did to the environment and humans long term, in order to make sure that that didn't happen and we could live healthier lives. Nope. Instead, we have people that are happy that you have people like RFK Jr. as the Department of HHS, who doesn't give it, who is turning back the clock on vaccine and public health like a fucking century almost in some cases. Oh my God. And then those same people that don't care that nobody's checking their food at pretty much all, if they don't want to anymore, because they want to get rid of everything, right? They don't want the Department of Education. They don't really want an FDA that's going to actually do its job. I mean, where does this leave us? What does this give us? Tell us who's going to be doing these things. I'm trying to figure out how this works in your mind. What is the matter with us? Where did this love of ignorance come from? I mean, I know there's this dumbing down of America, but this is the conspiracy theories, because these same people that get so upset about vaccines and trans kids are the same people that, think RFK Jr. is great when the guy's swimming in basically like sewer runoff water with his grandkids. And then you believe in like chemical trails, like contrails in the air with the jets in the sky is the real problem. I don't even know where do you come up with this shit? Where the fuck do you come up with this shit? Like, were you not educated at all with any sort of real critical thought in your freaking mind? Like, what was critical thought to you? Like, look around right now. Are you one of the people that's like, it was just a lot of rain? Do you understand the domino effect of these consequences? I guess where my side tangent is going to fucking end up. The domino effect of more people being displaced because of flooding, the damage it does to our infrastructure that we then have to spend more tax money to replace. It costs more money when it's damaged storm after storm after storm. Where does that come from? Yo, socialist dollars. That's where it comes from. But when all the rich people don't have to pay taxes, we have to make up for that shit. When churches don't pay taxes, we have to make up for that shit. Whoever doesn't pay taxes, we have to make up for that shit. Just remember that. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If society functioned the way it should, like Star Trek, we wouldn't need nonprofits, right? Because what do nonprofits do? They feed people, they house people, they invest in science and cures and shit like that. Well, how come? I mean, how come we just can't do that with our tax dollars? Why do I need a nonprofit to do that? In a functioning and healthy society, the input into the system to make things better for everyone should make things better for everyone before anybody is wealthy. And I'm not talking like some communist, whatever, you fucking weirdo people that just jump right to that shit. I'm saying, don't you want better in your life with your own tax dollars? If you're the part of the, especially you part of the middle class, and shit, please, the middle class, like anybody, even if you're making $350,000 a year, in comparison to people like Jeff Bezos, that ain't even the middle class if you do the math. It's just not. But that's what a comfortable life would be for people. It would allow you to be housed, have a car, be able to take some vacations, live a real life like the rich humans get to live, not the poor humans that just get to slave around wondering what's going to happen if they happen to get cancer or the flu that's going around. And then people are without health insurance because these fuckers don't care if you die. I don't know if folks realized it, but COVID took out a large swath of the medical community the last go around. And if these viruses that are going around right now, because if you have not watched the social medias and you've been hearing the people talk about this lovely virus that is going around, that is something that you have for like a week or so. And it could be coughing, sneezing, all the things, even like I think gastrointestinal stuff, but sometimes just those pains without anything wrong. It goes away for like a few days and then it comes back with a whole other load of new symptoms. Yeah. Those people are going to the ER. Those people are needing fluids. What happens if you start getting them, the vaccine deniers, the medical science deniers that are getting in there and they're threatening again, like they were during COVID to the medical staff. These people will just leave this time. Who would stay for that shit? Who would stay to be abused by the general public that's unintellectual coming into a place where people have to be educated to work there and being violent towards them for just trying to help your loved ones? Because that shit happened left and right with the fucking COVID deniers and the crazy ass people during COVID. Stories all over the place. People that didn't want to give formal reports to the police because they didn't want a whole horde of freaking anti-vaxxing nut jobs to come to their house and, threaten them or go to their work and threaten them. Like, do you not? This is the part that's so fucking bothersome to me. Like, you do not see the pattern of the shit that has happened and that is going to continue to happen. Instead, y'all listen to people like Brandi Kruse or Dory Monson or whatever one of these shitheads are that are out here dividing people over culture war shit. That is the least of our problems, people. You understand that after Trump and this regime stunt this last go around, especially when it's come to tariffs, the bigger players in the world are finding ways to get around the United States to get the goods that they used to get from us. We don't produce anything anymore because capitalism and greed took over many decades ago and started outsourcing jobs to the South before they finally outsourced them to other countries. And yes, Democrats and Republicans are to blame for those decisions. If we were an educated society and population and we truly understood how our government worked, I 100% believe that all of us could get along better because we would be better in a society that was healthier. I should probably just end it there. I'm almost out of my whiskey sangria and I got to go refill. Thanks for listening to my ramble tonight. I truly am not trying to get in like arguments or fights with these ladies because I just don't really care to. But I am just so curious about what is the intent of trying to constantly pointing out these things and talking about like what you do as like if you're undivided and you're like and you're referencing that towards us. I just don't I fail to see how that's the approach that you're truly trying to take. You know, if you're trying to truly expose something that is awful and wrong that's occurring, that by and large affects a greater scope of the population, hey, great. Like, that's great. But stuff like this, I mean, like, what do they call that magazine? Like the Sun or the Globe or the Inquirer. It's kind of like you're the Inquirer of the Pacific Northwest. And that's just, I don't know. It seems like as a lady of your stature, you could probably do better than that. Anyhow, take care, y'all. Bye.